Hi, Steve from Steve's Makerspace, and today we're going to be looking at how to take tiles like this and rotate them, and how to put animation into tiles like this. In the last video, I showed how to take a static drawing like this and turn it into this. If you haven't seen that video, then go take a look, because I'm not going to go over how to make the tiles again. Now, I won't be doing this particular animation because it's a little complicated. Instead, I'll be using this animation. It's just a little simpler to explain things. So let's start with the rotation. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new variable called tile rot for rotation. We'll say 10 degrees. Then we'll go down towards the bottom. So the X and the Y that we're calculating here are calculating to the top left corner of this tile. We're going to be rotating this tile from the center of the tile. So the first thing we need to do is we need to translate to the center of this tile. So we've already got the X and the Y calculated here. We're going to leave that the way it is. And first we need to push. But we can't just do push. We have to do canvas to push because we've got this invisible canvas. So everything we do with the invisible canvas, we need to use canvas to dot. So now we're going to translate, and we can start by translating to x comma y, except that we need a little bit more than x comma y, because translating to x comma y just puts us at the top left corner. So we need to add the tile width divide by 2 and the tile height divide by 2. So now that'll put us in the middle of that tile. So now we'll be able to rotate it. So we'll do canvas 2 dot rotate, and let's rotate it using the random of the tile rotation. So the minimum and the maximum. And now when we do the canvas 2 dot image, instead of putting the image at x and y, we want to, you might think we would need to put the image at 0, 0 because we've already translated. But we've translated to the middle of that tile, so we actually need to go backwards and translate to tile width divide by 2 and tile height divide by 2. So that should put us back to the top left corner of where we want to put our tile. Then finally we need to pop to put everything back the way it was before, and that should do it. Let's hit start. Uh-oh, we got a problem. What's going on? Translate is not a function. Oh, canvas.translate. I should be canvas 2. Try that. No, something else. Random is not defined. There we go. That's rotating quite a lot. What did I do wrong? Because it's supposed to only rotate 10. That is not what I expected. Do I need to do angle mode degrees? Aha, I do. I need to do angle mode degrees. Let's put that somewhere. We got to do canvas. I think I need to do canvas 2. Let's try angle mode degrees without doing the canvas 2. And see if, nope, that doesn't change. So I need to put canvas 2 dot angle mode degrees. There we go. Now it works. So now I can rotate, let's say I rotate 20 degrees. And there we go. We got random rotation. So that is it. We're done. Now you could, if you want, say you wanted only to rotate either 0 degrees, 90 degrees, or 180 degrees, or something like that. You could set it up to do that. You might also want to animate this so that it's constantly spinning slowly. I don't know if that's something that would be interesting. But anyway, that's it. I will leave a link to this code. So next we're going to take an animated sort of thing. This is my Morphing Mandala. I'll leave a link to this code if you want to play with that. And we'll make some animated thing into something tiled like this, except that this code is too complicated to explain easily. So instead we're going to take this boring rectangle animation and we're going to change it into a boring tiled animation. This will just be a lot simpler for me to explain. So I'll start with my boring rectangle sketch. but I'm going to go over to one of my tile sketches and we'll copy this and paste it over here so we don't have to redo all that. Then we'll go down here and we'll take all this code and we'll copy that as well. We'll go to the bottom of this draw and we'll paste that. And let's just run it and see what happens. So that is not what we want. So there's two problems. The first one is that we are pasting our tiles onto the canvas, but then we're trying to sample the canvas. So what we need to do, here we had made that invisible canvas in order to paste our tiles. We need to make an invisible canvas for our original drawing. So that means we need to set up a canvas 1 and change all the code that has anything to do with pasting to the canvas. So after we create the canvas, let's create our canvas number 1, create graphics, and we'll make it the width of the canvas and the height of the canvas. And we have our canvas 2. Let me rename that. We'll find every place we put canvas 2 and we'll replace it with canv2 just to make it more uniform. And I want to grab this and put it up here in the setup. And because we're going to be using canv1 and canv2 in setup and in draw, we're going to need to make those global variables. So we'll let canv1 and canv2. Now anything having to do with the canvas, we'll have to do canv1 background, canv1 no stroke, canv1 color mode. We also have some things that are being calculated here in draw, but we don't want to put them in draw because this is going to be a static number, tiles across. Needs to calculate once for the drawing and then doesn't need to be continually recalculated. So let's take all of this, pull that out, put it into setup. Then in draw, we've got to do canv1 background. Although I did do canv1 background up here. I guess I didn't need to do it twice, but oh well. Then we've got a fill. We need to do canv1 fill, canv1 rectangle, and then we need to get from canv1 instead of just get. This can stay the same. This is okay because this has to do with the canvas itself, the actual canvas. So let's do a save on this and hit go and just see what we get. Tiles across is not defined. Okay, so I moved some stuff around and I need to change these into global variables. So let me take out these lets, and in here we need to make these global variables. Let's try that. Aha! Now we've got something, but it's still pretty bad. So why is it doing that? Because when it's doing the get, it's doing a random sample. If this was a static picture, this would be fine, but because this is in draw and is looping, it keeps looking at a different section of the canvas each time. We want it to look at the same section of the canvas each time. In order to do that, we need to store an XY location for each place that it's going to be looking at. We need to put all of that into an array. So we'll do that in setup. We'll grab this code right here, not all of it, but some of it. Let's just copy it, and then we'll paste it in here. So we're going to have our for loop I, j, this is fine. We don't need this get in here. What we need is to say that this is going to be the x. We'll say let x equal floor random width minus tile width, then a semicolon, and then let y equal floor random height minus tile height. Now we've got our x and y location, and we need to put that into an array. So let's do a new array, call it tile array, and we'll push this X and Y location into that array. We're going to have to declare that array up here. We'll say let tile array equal that. So now we push that in, and we just need our extra brackets. Now we come back down here, and we're going to be getting, but instead of getting from some random thing here, we're going to be getting from the array. So we're going to have tile array, and we're going to have something here, and then tile array and something here. So what are we going to have here and here? We're going to make this simple. We could do something with trying to figure out I and j, but the simplest thing to do is just create a new variable called position. So the position in the array, and we'll start it off at 0, and then the first one will be tile position POS, and the second one will be tile position POS plus 1. And then when we're done with this loop, at least the j part of the loop, we're going to add 2, I believe. Yeah, so we want to put that under here. Pause plus equal 2. The reason I'm doing this is because let's think about the first tile is going to be at position 0, right? So that's going to be taking the X position, and then the second thing in the array is the Y position of that first tile. So that's here. And then we're going to add 2, and location 2 in the array is the X of the second tile. And pause plus 1 is the Y location of that second tile. So that's how that works. So let's hit go and see if it works. And it appears to be working. We've done it. So I can change the tiles to 100, 100. And there we go. We've got animated tiles, or really tiles that are sampling from an animation. Now we could, of course, combine this with the rotation stuff I talked about earlier, but I'm not going to do that. You can do that if you want. But that's going to do it for this video. Let's run something more interesting to look at, though. Here we go. So leave me comments if you have any. If you like this video, you can give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Steve's Makerspace.